Welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasyl Kravchenko, former Transportation Minister of the Ukraine. Vasyl, it's a pleasure to have you on again.
Thank you for invitation. Thank you for having me. Happy to see you and our watchers.
Thank you. No, it looked like we have some terrible moments back there in Ukraine with Belarus looking to do their thing in assisting Russia in the war. We got Iran launching these advanced drones. To some degree, they are so sophisticated. You need long-range missiles from U.S. and the U.S. allies to assist in taking these weapons out before they are launched. Is that so?
Thank you. In my opinion, I'd commented the current situation that now we have had a lot of challenges because of Russia's attack, and I wanted to remind our partners that 10th and 11th of October and 31 October we had mass attack from Russia side by drones, and 10 and 11 October Russia launched to Ukrainian side more than 84 drones, Iran produced drones, and Ukrainian forces managed to shoot down more than 50 of them, but another managed to damage electricity grid. But they repeated their big blow, and they launched to critical infrastructure of Ukraine 50 Iran's drones. I wanted to comment that every drone has 5 kilo blast, and as a result, they managed to damage more than 40% Ukraine electricity nets and limited energy for more than 40%. And because of it, from time to time, we have power outage, and from time to time rolling outage, and just before our conversation we didn't have electricity, and it appeared maybe 10 minutes before our conversation, and we can say exactly that they started their so-called new operations because after they drafted officially about 300 new soldiers to Russia's army. They, without any preparing, sent them to the battle line to Ukraine. And if you watch that number of killed Russia soldiers, lately Ukrainian forces managed to eliminate about 1,000 Russia soldiers around the clock. And it's quite difficult for Ukrainian forces because we have losses, and we have really cruel battles. And I wanted to tell that we have battle line more than 1,000 kilometers. And because of it, really important for us to have air defense. And during maybe last 10 days, Ukraine received from Germany IRIS system, which allowed us to strengthen our forces defense, and we are going to receive from United States NASAM system, which would allow us to strengthen our sky, because every day Russia has opportunity to blow the battle line to Ukraine fortifications more than 30 air attack, and except they commit long-range missiles blow to Ukraine critical infrastructure around Ukraine, and now we can comment that now in Ukraine there is no any safe city. It was only Chernivtsi, only one city where all systems were working without problems, but Russia's missiles crossed Moldova's territory and blew to critical infrastructure in Chernivtsi. Now we understand that they are going to buy from Iran new type of missiles, because last blow they committed 31st October. Ukrainian air defense system managed to shoot down from 50 drones, 46 drones was shooted down. And more dangerous situation will appear after Russia will be able to use Iran's short-range missiles and long-range and middle-range missiles, which would allow them to cover Ukraine territory. And now we have had a lot of conversation concerning their threats, including so-called dirty bomb. And today appeared information that representatives, United Nations Executive Board in nuclear energy responsibility visited Ukraine and could check that Ukraine cannot make any dirty bomb, and it was type of threat from Russia Federation just to distract attention. And them, they were threatening that Ukraine was going to blow dams, and as a result, we can see that they mined Ukraine nuclear plant station. Zaporizhzhia plant, biggest in Europe, nuclear power station. And every day we can see that new type of challenges we can see from Russia's troops. And for example, no one around the world could expect that Russia's troops can behave like troops from Middle Ages, who are killing, who are torturing Ukrainians. And last information we received from occupied Kherson, that in Kherson region they hang the NAS who expressed publicly her opinion that Kherson it's Ukraine. And in every village, Ukrainian forces managed to release. We can see that they have specially prepared building for tortures, and then we can see. We can see, better to say, emergency service representative can see that mass graves can be found in any settlements Ukrainian forces liberate.
Okay.
And during the last day, for example, Ukrainian forces managed to release to liberate three settlements, two of them at the north of battle line and the one at the west part.
Okay. I want to ask this question. How concerned Ukraine should be at this point with the millions of soldiers who have been drafted and they are rebelling? The commanders are rebelling simply because they have to buy their own uniform. They are fleeing from Russia because they don't want to be engaged in this war. Does that pose a threat to Russia itself in terms of soldiers jumping ship and running? And how do Ukraine perceive this?
First of all, Ukrainian forces understand this situation, and because of it, issued specially prepared instruction how to surrender for Ukrainian forces, and it was special application which would allow Russia soldiers who understand that it's a wrong war to surrender to Ukrainian troops. But now it's blocked in Russia Federation, and Ukrainian forces looking for a different way to tell Russia's drafted soldiers to tell that this war isn't war for their country, and they have opportunity to surrender and not commit crimes in Ukraine. And we personally, I have seen a few cases when Ukrainian soldiers were meeting Russians who decided to surrender to Ukrainian troops. But most of them have no opportunity to do it because of first of all, they behind them there is a second line which made them to storm Ukrainian troops. For example, in the Bakhmut region, where against Ukrainian forces are fighting private army, so-called, which drafted soldiers from prisons, and there are a lot of people who is ill and who has heavy disease. For example, it's yellow illness and really serious disease, and they have marks at their clothes, and they live in different buildings, and Ukrainian forces managed to capture these ill soldiers who were sending to storm Ukraine position from Russia's side. And for example, according to the headquarter Ukrainian forces information, in the Bakhmut region, they tried to storm Ukrainian troops 80 times around the clock. And they, I mean, Russia's side or Russia's commanders didn't pay attention. Big number of victims in this war, and they are following according to orders they received from maybe from Russia's president. And now I'd say that this type of soldiers are using like a motor folder, and I'd say that they will not have success at this battle line, but the number of soldiers is a threat for Ukrainian army, because Ukrainian army doesn't have this number of soldiers and have no advantages in artillery. We have, for example, the same position in artillery, and we have advantages in artillery which was received from allies, from United States, from partners in NATO bloc, who provided us new technologies, artillery, and precise ammunition, and it allows us to be more effective. And I think that they are going to prepare something new. And to answer for your questions, according to Belarus, I'd say that from this side, we better to say, according to the military experts of Ukraine, now there is no higher threat because Belarus now is repairing ground place for Russia's troops. And at the same time, there are a lot of drilling camps for new draftee. And maybe in couple of months we will see that this threat can appear from Belarus side.
So is Belarus at this point actively engaged in supporting Putin?
To be honest, they are cooperating. They have been cooperating for a long time, including decisions that, if you see their comments concerning their cooperation, they call it United Army Boss. United Army both countries. I don't know how to comment it, because which country is united, and which duty they have, but it's appeared in their comments. Maybe nearest future we will see something which will give us answer for this information. But I'd say that Russia's forces are going to continue storming Ukrainians' territory, but as a result, they are slowly leaving settlements, and there are a lot of problems at the right side of Dnieper, when Russia's troops is surrendered, but they continue supplying the new troops and maybe preparing something for Ukraine forces.
Yes, it also seems that Russia are making attempts to use nuclear nuclear weapons, but he's also finding excuses that he have the right then to use these weapons. What's going on there?
But first of all, we have had a lot of negotiations about using against Ukraine's army or Ukraine territory different type of nuclear weapon. First of all, I'd say that they have so-called tactical nuclear weapon, which isn't so powerful like ordinary nuclear bomb. But using this nuclear charge, it's the same that they are ready to use ordinary bomb. And after negotiations with Western countries, or maybe they stop speaking, stop socializing about it, and then it's appeared again, and they are using it like a way to threaten Western countries. And at the same time, we must understand that this weapon is produced 30 or 40 years ago. And if they launch it against Ukraine, it will depend if Ukraine has air defense system, middle or long range system, which can prevent this blow. Because I wanted to repeat that Ukraine last time managed to shoot down 95% Russia's drones and most of Russia's missiles.
Okay.
But
at what point, right? At what point do you think United States should give long-range missiles that can advance your offensive tactics right now? Would this be the best time to do that?
First of all, all the system will be important, but most effective against. But we must understand that nuclear weapon has different type of carrier and different base. For example, base on the ground can be detected easier, but more difficult to prevent missiles which can be launched from long-range bombers. As usual, it's cruise missiles and has speed about 1,000 kilometers an hour. And here is really effective fighters. For example, Ukrainian air warplanes fighters effectively fighting with this type of missiles. And it depends on if Ukraine managed to receive in time aircrafts, for example, fighters 4++ or 5 level missiles, which would allow us to eliminate this type of bombs. But we don't know when and if they use nuclear weapon. And at the same time, long-range anti-missile system, similar to Patriot system, and with plain AWACS, which would allow to detect them at the long distance. And I think here is good to cooperate with more closer, or maybe to cooperate in exchanging information from this AWACS system, because, for example, I'd commented that Russia has 3 types of these planes which are walking around Ukraine, and Ukraine territory they can detect easily. And because of it, they are trying to control it. But Ukrainian maneuvers forces managed to avoid eliminating it, but civil critical infrastructure cannot avoid from this blow, and now we can see that Russians manage to eliminate 40% our electricity producing systems and grid electricity. And because of it, I'd say that it depends how fast we will receive the support, and we will be able to cover Ukraine territory and European countries' territory, because all this type of missiles has the same type of threat for European countries. And if Ukraine managed to prevent it at Ukraine territory, we will manage to defend part of Europe. And I heard there are a lot of conversation between officials, Ukrainian officials and United States, and we had information that Ukrainian pilots will be trained in the United States, but we haven't seen confirming this action, and because of it, it's quite difficult to us and quite difficult to current situation, because Russia's continue